Good evening. Today is Thursday, December 11th. The time is 6 o'clock. We will now call this meeting to order. Mr. Johnson, roll call.
Mr. Ferguson?
Here.
Mr. Keller?
Here.
Ms. Savage is absent. Mr. Smith? Here. Mr. Keller is absent.
Thank you. Before we do the Pledge of Allegiance, we'd like to have a moment of silence to honor Rick Spence. Rick served as the Marysville Exempted Village School District as a bus driver for 9 years. Through that service, he played an important role in the daily lives of our students and families, helping students get to and from school safely each day. This was a second career for Rick, following his many years as a telecommunications engineer with AT&T and Simons. We are grateful for his service to our community, and his dependability was one of his hallmarks. On behalf of the Board of Education, we extend our sympathy to Rick's family, friends, and colleagues. We will now observe a moment of silence in his memory. Thank you. We will now do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you can stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, we have the adoption of our agenda tonight. Do we have a motion?
I'll motion.
We have a motion. Second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and second. Roll call.
Mr. Keller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
Yes. The motion is carried. Thank you. Next, we'll turn it over to Dr. Howard for the Leadership Academy class presentation.
Yes, thank you, Board. Actually, I'm going to turn it over to Jonathan Langhouse. He can maybe share a little bit about the Leadership Academy and certainly introduce our great attendees that are here this evening that have completed the program. I will tell you that thanks to the team that is here, Dr. Jackson and myself had the opportunity to get to meet these folks throughout the fall and witness and hear their capstone projects, and it's a great bunch. So, Jonathan, take it away.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. The Leadership Academy class of 2025 has been a wonderful group to work with over these past 11 months. They came into the experience with open minds and a desire to learn and grow. Through collaborative conversations, videos, guest speakers, special projects, and reflective questioning, the class of 2025 are leaving this experience as better leaders and better human beings. When most people are asked about leadership, they think that leadership lives in titles. That's not the focus of the Leadership Academy. Leadership is not a title, it is an action. It's the courage to say, I don't know, when asked a question. It's following through with what you say you will do. It's getting team members to understand the why behind what they do. It's not about you having all the answers. It's about you getting the right people in the room to figure it out together. It's the ability to listen instead of talk. It's the ability to make people feel seen and valued. And it's the commitment to learn and move forward even after a setback. Hopefully a few of these things sound familiar with some of the attributes that we discussed. So class of 2025, every day you have the choice to wait for permission or to simply go make a positive impact. Go lead, congratulations, and I look forward to hearing about your continued growth as leaders. Been super impressed with this group of individuals. I think I learned a lot from them, especially through the collaborative conversations. You just never stop to learn as a leader. The questions that they would ask, the conversations they would have, the points that they would make, the reflection that they would have, and being vulnerable to that really helped them learn and grow. The special projects that impact their building and or the district that they focused on this year, you know, it's not all rosy and things go well. working through those setbacks, working through those problems is how you learn and grow as a leader. So you guys made great strides with those special projects, and I'm excited to see where those go in the future as well. So just a big congratulations. Proud of each and every one of you. Dr. Howard, is the board, everybody going to be able to come down for a photo with the Leadership Academy and shake their hand? Okay, that'd be great. So, as I call your name, if you could come up, receive your certificate, and let's shake the hands of the board and then also get a photo. Matthew Fox. Matthew Fox is an instructional coach at Bunsold Middle School. Jennifer Lewis. Jennifer is an EMIS coordinator for the Marysville schools. Congratulations. Lindsay Mee. Lindsay Mee is Marysville High School guidance counselor. Chance Nelson. Chance is a English language arts instructor at the Marysville Early College High School. And then Brooke Young. Brooke Young is a mathematics teacher at the Early College High School.
Again, congratulations to the class, the Leadership Academy class of 2025. Next, I recognize Dr. Howard for the recognition of Michelle McGlone as the Employee of the Month.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson. Yes, board, it's my honor to announce that Michelle McGlone is our Employee of the Marysville Exempted Village School District of the Month. Michelle is a secretary in the Transportation Department. Michelle has been nominated by her colleagues as a classified employee of the month, citing in their nomination that when a transportation problem pops up, Michelle is the one who comes to the rescue, no matter the time of the day, 6 a.m. on a Saturday or 3 p.m. on a weekday afternoon. She constantly smooths out the bumps in the road that occur, often before anyone knows there was an issue. Michelle tackles the daily problems of working in transportation without hesitation. She's deserving of this award, and that is our Employee of the Month. Board, we'll make sure she receives her certificate.
Congratulations, Michelle. There are no signups for public participation tonight. Next will be Dr. Howard for the superintendent report.
Thank you, board. Thought that it was pertinent. This was a recent bylaw that was approved by member schools in the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Board, Ohio is one of just a handful of states that had yet to enact NIL across other states across the country have. And wanted to share just briefly, first of all, what has changed. So students may now earn compensation for permitted uses of their name, image, and likeness, which is where NIL comes into play. Examples include appearances, social media promotions, endorsements, advertising, and licensing. NIL is evolving, and our priorities are students' well-being, eligibility protection, and transparency. So what can it include? So common NIL activities that would be permitted would be personal appearances at community events, camps, signings, social media promotions, sponsored content, endorsements or advertising for products or services, or licensing NIL for merchandise or marketing materials. Now, the guardrails and the eligibility are important factors here. What NIL does not allow is it is not a pay-for-play. So there's not a payment simply for participating. There's still no recruiting inducements tied to enrollment, attendance, or transfers. So all of the recruitment of players, all of those guardrails are still put in place, and obviously districts and teams, high schools, cannot use NIL as a way to entice athletes to their schools. Schools, coaches, and boosters cannot use NIL as a recruiting tool. They need to stay completely out of it. Student athletes must remain amateurs and follow Ohio High School Athletic Association eligibility rules. And it brings up the question, board, and I think it'll be something that we'll have to strongly consider, is if it's time to register our trademark, our logo, and our name. And the thought with this is that certainly there are businesses that we have agreements with that do sell merchandise, and we want to promote Marysville Monarchs and everything. But this could be a way to protect the student athletes that may be wearing materials that appear as if they're part of the Marysville High School, whereas that would be against the bylaw in the NIL. Guidance that we have shared with families, if your student is approached with an NIL opportunity, we encourage them to review any agreement or contract carefully before signing it. Consider consulting a trusted advisor. Ensure that the opportunities do not conflict with OHSAA eligibility rules or team school expectations. And when in doubt, we ask that they would contact the athletic department for guidance on compliance. Some frequently asked questions or talking points: are we paying students? And the answer is absolutely not. NIL is a third-party compensation. Pay-for-play remains prohibited. Can boosters use NIL to attract athletes? And the answer to that is no. NIL cannot be used for recruiting or enrollment inducements. What is the district's role? Our role is to provide education and compliance, guidance, protect eligibility and student experience. We recently did share an email out to all of our families with the intent of explaining what NIL is, what the safeguards are, how they need to consider protecting their son or daughter's eligibility should an opportunity occur. And where can families learn more? So this was recently passed by member schools, and so it's now currently in place. OHSAA now has a website that's been updated titled NIL Resources, and strongly encourage families to check that out to learn more about it. We as a school district will continue to update families as information becomes available, or as we hear of examples and things that we think it's important to share. We're going to use final forms, and of course our athletic department, when they have the fall parent meetings, winter parent meetings, spring parent meetings, we'll make sure that we touch on this as well. But thank you. Just thought it was pertinent to kind of give a brief update on NIL this evening. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have and on that.
Dr. Howard, if an athlete, from my understanding, what I've read from OHSAA, they can market their name, but not Marysville Monarchs. And so they can be a point guard, a starting point guard, and average 16 points a game, but they can't be the starting point guard for the Marysville Monarchs and averaging 16 points a game. And I think, to your point, with the boosters making purchases of equipment and uniforms and those kinds of things, and the athletic department doing that drawing a bright line in terms of what constitutes school apparel and school name and what is personally owned by the athlete is going to be important to make sure an athlete doesn't accidentally create a situation where they're not eligible to play, because that didn't do anybody any good. So, yeah, thank you.
If it's okay, I'd like to briefly touch on a few other points. Important to me, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank both Dick Smith and Nan Savage for their service to our school district. Between the two of you, you've served 22 years on the Board of Education. In my short tenure here, I know that both of you have always made decisions that are in the best interest of students first. Coach Smith, I was lucky to have you as a teacher. And as a kid that attended the high school, I also was lucky enough to play on the gridiron, and you led our defensive huddle. And so you've been a mentor in many ways, and I want to thank you all, and especially you, Mr. Smith, and Nan, for the opportunity to be here. It's been a privilege and an honor to work with you in this role. I'd also like to share with the board that I look forward to working with our two newly elected board members, Tanya Mabry and Leanne Shepard. Both will begin their terms on the Board of Education next month, and I look forward to interacting with them and working with you. The winter athletic season is in full swing. I want to wish all of our winter student athletes a rewarding season, and we look forward to rooting them on, not only in the classroom, but on the pool, or in the pool, on the court, or bowling alley, and wrestling mats. I'd encourage you all to go to our website for a link to our athletic schedules if you wish to come out and support our Monarchs. And then I'd like to also give a shout out to our choral department. Our choirs are going to be presenting winter songs tomorrow and Saturday night at 7 p.m. at MHS. I understand that both of those concerts are going to be live streamed as well, with all profits going to the high school Monarch market, which I think is really a cool thing. And during those concerts, you will hear 350 voices. So I think it's great. We have 350 kids involved, middle school on up. And then last, I would just like to wish everybody a safe and relaxing holiday season upcoming. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. Now we'll move on to the Treasurer's Report by Mr. Johnson.
I have a very brief report. The property tax bills that we've been discussing for the last several months, those are now sent to the governor. That means he has up until December 20th to either sign or veto those bills. If he does nothing, those bills do become law. And then based on the recent change in five-year forecast guidelines, the new forecast update, instead of being in the spring, that will be in February. So we will know, at least, I'm not sure if they're done or not, but we'll at least know the status of those bills so that we'll be able to update the forecast in February. That's it for the school finance update portion. I also would like to thank Mr. Smith and Ms. Savage for their service over the years. My first meeting as a school treasurer was also Dick's first meeting as a school board member, so it's been a good ride these many years, so I really appreciate all the good times we've had.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. On behalf of our board president, just want to share in the board a few remarks. Again, we want to thank Nan and Dick for their service to the Board of Education. I know, at least in my short time here, there's been a lot of work done on behalf of our students in our district, and without their leadership and their guidance, I believe we've strongly benefited from their leadership and guidance. We look forward to welcoming our newly elected board members. Our organization meeting will be held Monday, January 5th at 5:30 p.m. So Tanya Mayberry and Leanne Shepard, which Leanne's here today, they have started their onboarding process by meeting with the district office staff, getting connected with the Ohio School Board Associations, and they will begin visiting school buildings over the next month to learn about the programs in place and how they support education in Marysville School District. We welcome them and wish them the best of luck. The big news everyone wants to know about is holiday break is coming up. We just enjoyed a nice Thanksgiving, but Monday, December 22nd through January 4th, school will be out, offices will be closed, and we wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and some refreshing time off. Next, Mr. Keller for Student Achievement Report.
There was no information from OSBA. They did not have a December newsletter, success newsletter. The two highlights from the principal board notes our MHS Theatrical Arts performed the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee at the Avalon Theater. Always a great achievement to see so many kids participate in that and pull off a great experience and show for our community. Also, at ECHS, 28 students are preparing to complete their CNA certification. That's a great milestone for them as they pursue their careers. So just wanted to highlight those few things.
Thank you, sir. Next, we'll recognize Board Member Smith for a legislative report.
Thank you. There were a couple of things that I've put into the report that I just mailed to you because I realized I hadn't sent it out. Senate Bill 50 was vetoed by the governor, and this would have impacted some of our students. It would have changed the work hours for those 14 and 15 years old and allowed them to work until 9 o'clock at night on a school night. Currently, they can work until 7 on a school night. We all received the OSBA legislative report that highlighted several bills that we've been watching. One is Senate Bill 129, the 20 mil floor bill, changes how the 20 mil floor is calculated, also creates two different fixed sum levy opportunities. The bill has passed the legislature, and as of noon today, he had not signed it. The governor, I think for us, we need to remember the governor has 10 days, not including Sundays, to sign the bill once he receives it. If he doesn't sign the bill, and the legislature has adjourned, which I believe they may have done, the bill can die as a pocket veto. And by my calculation, sometime around December 20th, the 18th, 19th, 20th, somewhere in there, will be the 10-day, the end of the 10-day period. So the governor had vetoed provisions in this bill earlier. He's had several days now, not very long, because I think it was the 9th he actually received the re-enrolled bill. But he hasn't signed it yet. So he can sign it, it'll become law. If he doesn't sign it, it does not become law. And then one other thing that I saw in some information that we got is has to do with federal funding for IDEA, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act. The current administration is in the process of taking steps to eliminate the Federal Department of Education, and that could have an impact on funding for students with disabilities as that program is administered through that department. For our district, well, let me back up. For the federal government, pledged to pay 40% of the additional cost to educate students. And they have never contributed more than about 15, 16%. And for our district, that means the funds from IDEA, and Todd may correct me because this is a couple of years old, but at that time, funding from IDEA paid for about 7 positions in our special ed department, director and so forth. And at that time, we had about 70 employees, so I'm, about 10% of our salary costs for special education was covered by funds. So just looking forward, as discussions both state and national occur, something to just be aware of. So, and that's my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Next, you have the draft minutes from our November 20th regular meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move. Do we approve?
I'll second.
It's been motioned and second. Roll call, please.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. The motion's carried. Thank you. Next, we have an item under Board of Education items to approve the adjustment of IT, which is technology salary bands. Is there a motion?
I'll motion.
And I'll second.
It's been properly moved and second. Any discussion?
I know that salaries need to be competitive, and hopefully these salary ranges will mean that we can retain and retract the people that we need in order to operate our technology department. I had to contact them today because I was having a hard time getting logged into my computer. It has reached a point where the school district can't function without good, competent people that have the experience and the know-how, and there is value to retaining institutional knowledge, and hopefully this will accomplish that.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. The motion's carried. Thank you. Next, we have the treasurer CFO items. Do we have a motion to approve all treasurer CFO action items?
So moved?
I'll second.
It's been properly moved in second. Any further discussion?
Only thing I would point out is just our usual monthly items, but I would point out that we had a couple teachers that applied for some grants, and those grants were awarded, so just applaud those teachers for putting in some extra effort to get those monies that'll benefit our students.
Yes, thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Motion's carried. Next, we have the superintendent action items. Do we have a motion to approve all items?
I'll motion.
And I'll second.
It's been moved in second. Any discussion?
Mr. Ferguson, I'll just highlight, we have our standing HR items for the month attached. We have our volunteer listing. We have 36 individuals that are named. Always super appreciative of our people that's willing to come in and serve as a volunteer in our district. There are 3 individuals listed as early graduates. We have the approval of the coursework and description and fees for both early college, high school, and Marysville High School. Believe it or not, it's about that time of the year where we have to start enrolling and figuring out what classes we'll carry next year. And so it's always an exciting time as students plan for the year ahead. We have an intern student teacher placement from Ohio Wesleyan. And then there are 2 robotics team overnight trips. And then we have an overnight trip request from Early College High School.
Thank you, Dr. Howard. Any further discussion, questions, comments?
Now, I'd just like to comment that I really like to see the robotics team entering competitions and travel. I think that the travel experiences and the competitions are great opportunities for our students to learn, compete, but also to get to meet people that they otherwise would never have the opportunity to meet. And I think that's important. I'm pleased that we have an Ohio Wesleyan student that's going to be doing student teaching in our school district. And want to thank all the volunteers for stepping up and helping us with all different programs and everything that need to be done.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any other comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, the motion is carried. Now is the comments and questions from board members. I do not have anything. I'm going to then hand it to Matt Keller, then finish with Board Member Smith.
I just wanted to thank Dick and Nan for their service to our community. And I learned a lot from them. I enjoyed working with them. And from both of them, whether we saw eye to eye on something or not, it didn't affect our relationship. And that's the way it should be. And I think that's a sign of who they are as people. So thank you for your service and Nan not being here, but we appreciate her efforts. Also looking forward to Miss Mabry and Miss Shepard joining us. Be ready to hit the ground running. Leanne, you are here tonight. So in January, we will welcome you. If you need anything in the meantime, let me know. As we move to the holiday season, for our students and staff and families, enjoy the time at school, enjoy the time away from school, take a minute to slow down. Maybe you enjoy the sunset, the way the ice looks on a tree. It seems we've seen a lot of that lately. But take a moment to slow down and enjoy those people you love around you. That's what the holiday season should be about. That's it.
Mr. Smith?
Yeah. First of all, I talked with Nan today, and she sent me something she would like for me to share with all of you. Greetings to all. I must apologize for not being able to attend tonight. I wish to express my thanks for the honor of serving Marysville Exempted Village School District for the past 9 years. We are so fortunate to have the most dedicated staff serving our Marysville students and community. I'm very confident in the leadership of Dr. Zach Howard as superintendent and fiscal management of our treasurer, Todd Johnson, as we move forward to building the future of our district, and I want to thank them for their dedication. There may be many challenges facing our district in the upcoming years, but today let's celebrate the successes of our amazing academic programs, career pathways, leadership programs, music and art programs, and athletic programs. And I am extremely grateful to all the teachers, staff, administrators, coaches, bus drivers, cafeteria staff, building aides, and the army of parent and family volunteers it takes to make programs happen. I wish the very best to the current board members and those on the board shortly. You have a very important job ahead of you. As I move forward, I now join the community of former board members that are forever proud to be a Monarch and permanent supporters of Marysville schools. With great thanks, Nan Savage. Now, I've spent 51 years in education, and the last 12 on this board have been maybe the most impactful and important. I know that I was told one time that as you move into a different role within the educational system, your impact on the number of students changes. And you have, as a teacher, you have the students that are in front of you. As a principal, you have the kids in your building. As a superintendent, you have the teachers and staff. But on the school board, you have the opportunity to impact everybody within the school district and also everybody in the community. And so one of the things that I did was to kind of make a list of some of the things that I thought that were important in terms of the last 12 years that I think have been impactful for everybody. And I place this number one for a very important reason. We had, and Nan, I think, also joined me in almost every single one of these. I think maybe on this one, maybe not. But all day, every day kindergarten and the alternate kindergarten. Nothing is more important than students getting a good start. And the data that we collected showed that all of our remedial activity in the district was going to kids that had been in the every other day program. Kids that had been in everyday kindergarten, which required a supplemental payment, those kids took zero remediation. And so it was an easy decision to increase our funding slightly to be able to get kids, every kid in our school district, started off on the right foot. And I think now, 12 years later, those kids that may not have been in everyday kindergarten are now juniors and seniors in our high school, and I think we're seeing the benefits because they are just doing astounding things at this point in their educational career. The second one was the most interesting, and that was the district's response to COVID. I've had a lot of teachers and administrators tell me that they wish that their district had handled COVID the way Marysville did. People talked about all sorts of stuff, but the board as a whole decided on two things that I think were critical. One was that we used only local data, what was happening when in our buildings, in our school district, in our community. And our administration set up a way that collected all of that data, and they shared it weekly, where we were, in terms of quarantines, in terms of illness, and all that kind of stuff. So that data drove a lot of our decisions. The other thing was that while people raised all sorts of different issues and got very emotional about all sorts of things, the board listened to what was the most common and the most loudly vocalized expectation of the community, and that was to get kids in front of teachers in a classroom. And so every discussion we ever had, public, private, was how can we get more kids in front of teachers? And we did whatever it took, whatever decision we need to make based with what we could do was based on getting kids in front of teachers in the classroom. And that drove all the schedules and all the square footages in classrooms and all that kind of stuff. We also, I think, during the last 12 years, reached a point where members of city council and the city administration and this school board have a common goal in making decisions for the benefit of the entire community. And sometimes I think that focus was not there. It got compartmentalized in that the district would say, well, what's good for us? The city would say, what's good for us? And we've been able to come together and come up with a common final outcome, kind of a North Star. What's the thing that's most important? And I think we now are at a point where the decisions, and I can clearly point to some of the recent decisions that this board has made and decisions at the city council, where it seems to me that we are looking at and saying, what is in the best overall interest of the entire community? And there's certainly objections, being heard and questions being asked, but I think that that has been a significant factor over the past 12 years. The last two things are very similar. We had an opportunity, in large measure due to the foresight of earlier administrations and decisions by our community to support their decisions, to create a permanent improvement fund. And our district, having a permanent improvement fund, allows us to buy buses and pay for technology and textbooks and furniture and maintain all of our buildings. It also has allowed us to build Drive Stadium at Bunsold, to rebuild athletic facilities at the high school Impact Stadium and the track facility there. We were able to completely gut and remodel the competition gym. And probably the biggest change I noticed is they put in air conditioning. And so now it doesn't get incredibly hot and smell like crazy. And I will, going back to some of our stadiums, Chad Williamson, who's in the audience tonight, told me that he remembers a television station was covering Marysville football one Friday night, and they opened with their sports person stepping out of a porta pot, which was our bathroom facility, and saying, "Hi, we're at Marysville Stadium for the game tonight," and so forth. And we've come a long way. We have facilities, we have buildings that we can be proud of. This building, converting the prior administration to 4 classrooms, which bought us space or bought us time to get a facilities plan put into place. And that's kind of my last thing on my list, is I'm really, really pleased that we have a facilities plan. As it exists, it's going to take 6 or 7 years to implement this. And that, from my seat and walking away from a seat at this table, I hope the board next year continues to move forward because it's going to take time. And there is nothing more valuable when you're looking at any sort of a building product, any sort of institutional changes that might be involved in that, than time. And so addressing those things which you can address now, setting the groundwork for those things which are 2, 3, 4 years out, making sure that you're keeping an eye on the reason why we're looking at a facilities plan. We're growing, we're going to need space. And if you look short term, you can say, well, everything's in good shape right now, but if you wait 2 or 3, 4 years and then say, well, now we need to get started, it's still going to take you another 6 or 7 years to put things in place. And so there's a cost of delay, and so time is very valuable. And so I would encourage future discussions to move forward. And that kind of leads to the last thing. It has been a real honor and a privilege to serve on this board. When I got ready to come to the meeting tonight, I normally don't wear a tie. But this is the tie that I wear for my dad and my mom. They told me, you need to have, in every decision, you need to have your North Star. And my North Star, the final thing that's determined every single vote that I've ever made on this board, was what is in the best interest of our students and our school district. And sometimes that decision didn't match with the community's outward discussions and comments. Sometimes it may have made administrators and teachers kind of question. But I can tell you, as I was thinking today, I can document every single vote that I've ever made and how I can explain to you how the people that are part of our school district, and that's the thing that has become most apparent to me in my 12 years, is our school district is people. It's families. It's the families that are teaching our kids. It's families that are leading the athletic teams that we have. It's the families that are driving all of the programs and supporting all of the efforts. So I feel good about my service on the board. But I walk away feeling very good because I know that I would have made my parents very proud, that I made decisions not in my own best interest, not in the best interest of a group or a particular philosophy or anything else, but just tried to stay dead center focused on what was best for the kids in our school district, which is what I believe is this job. So I want to thank all of the teachers and administrators. I particularly want to thank all the custodians and the secretaries and the cooks and the bus drivers that make everything happen. Our superintendent thinks he runs the district. The rest of us know better. Okay? It has been an honor to have worked with you and to be able to serve you in this role. So thank you very much.
May you all join me in giving a round of applause.
Yeah. And Sue Devine, who's sitting out there, will tell you that the meetings will now be shorter.
No comment. Well, this brings us to our last agenda item, motion to adjourn.
I'll motion.
And I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you all, and have a wonderful night.